Tonight, we're officially opening the Joe and Betty Weider Museum of Physical Culture. The Weider Museum is part of the Lutcher Stark Center for Physical Culture and Sports, and we're particularly grateful to the Weider.
What sort of history do you feel when you're here this evening?
Well, as I said to Terry and Jan, I'm very grateful of their obsession, because a lot of this would just gone by the wayside. And their obsession has and they put it into perspective. That's the main thing, the continuum all the way from the 1880s or whatever forward to now, and all the various pioneers, and everybody built on other people's shoulders. So it's been I think for people that, most of this quote isn't new to me. It's the first time it's been pulled together in a way that it has been. But I think for the public, it's going to be an experience that they...
Serious place to study fitness and culture and what fitness has done to change our culture over a century, really. So we're just really excited, and especially to be opening the Weider Museum as a campus.
Well, it's a great night. I mean, no question about it. The greatest library for physical culture in the world is right here at the University of Texas on the north end of the stadium. And of course, the Todds have been building this thing for decades. Their lives have been devoted to this, and the fact that the Stark family came out and helped so tremendously, and the Weider family came out and helped so tremendously, has really made, along with the university's great support, has made this a tremendous, tremendous center for study and learning about physical culture. Every magazine in the fitness community worldwide has been recorded here. They've been collecting these things for 3 decades. If you want a copy of the September 1964 Muscular Development magazine for any research reason, they've got it. Notwithstanding all of the other materials, again, with videographic stuff and the like, and so it's just really an unbelievable collection of art and memorabilia, photographs, and printed materials about physical culture that you'll never see anywhere in the world, something like this.
Well, it's nice to see that so much work is done to bring some real credibility to the sport of weight training and the other athletics that is shown here. This is like going to the Louvre or the Smithsonian Institute. This is just literally beautiful, just gorgeous.
Well, there's so much of this that you help contribute to the whole world of physical culture, too. You got to be proud.
Well, I am very proud, but I can't take credit for any of this, really. It's nice that they were kind enough to even let me know and honor me as they have. It's a compliment, and I couldn't say enough about it.
Well, this is a very, very special place, an unbelievable exhibition. The pictures and the history here is amazing. We even got to see the back vaults today, the vaults of volumes and volumes of other material. It's unbelievable what they're doing here in Texas.
Well, I've got a mixture of feelings, quite frankly. One of them, I'm in awe of the majesty of this place that these guys have put together, and how Joe contributed to it. But it's just amazing to see a collection of all these photos of people that you've seen in the magazines and that you've looked up to, and they've been your heroes and so forth. And see it all done right here in front of you. It's marvelous. I can't say enough about it. I just go around and around. Look at that! Oh, there's a shot of it. It's just fantastic. I love it.
Good to see you. Come on, straight, stand up straight.
Okay.
Get the chest out. Come on, there's no reason to bend over. Don't even start that. Don't even start that, okay? Okay?
Hey, don't you work out anymore?
You look good. Not bad.
Yeah, thank you. You
For
do too.
a 1965-66 Mr. Olympia.
No, you got it off by about 4 years.
No. 1965,
Yeah, you're right,
1966.
you're right.
I know
Good
exactly
time.
which years you won.
How you been anyway?
Mr. Universe and Mr. American, Mr. Muscle Beach, and Mr. Everything. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Boyd, when you were at the University of Nebraska, if somebody lifted weights, they were sort of deemed as going to be slow and bulky. Well, what happened?
Well, for some reason, coaches at that time, back in the late 60s, they thought athletes would become muscle-bound if they lifted weights. I'm not sure where that came from. But when Bob Devaney gave me a chance, he pointed his finger in my face and he said, if anybody gets slower, you're fired.
Look how much it's changed over the years.
It's unbelievable now to have seen that every high school, every college, every athlete in any sport now lifts weights to improve their performance and their speed.
Yeah, and their speed. Isn't that interesting? Who was the first standout kid that you saw that it was really affecting in a positive way?
Actually, it was a walk-on named Mike Barron. Wasn't the superstar athletes. They didn't really need the help. They were successful on their own. But this young freshman, he weighed 180 pounds. He wanted to play guard. He wanted to play guard for Nebraska. Well, can you imagine a 180-pounder? So he gained 50 pounds. He improved his 40-yard dash 0.5 of a second, and he started on our national championship team in 1971.
You know, weights are important. They used to be forbidden, and now they're important. And it's kind of an interesting change, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, the whole metamorphosis, the whole transition in mindset that, you know, it's armor. No matter what you want to do, it makes you better. So it's a good thing.
Oh, this is a great night for us. You know, we're really, really excited here at the University of Texas. We have so many great people here to come visit for today's event.
Are there a few you want to give a couple of tips to?
Oh, no. I learned from each and every one of these guys, all the Mr. Olympians, from Bill Kazmaier over there, who's the best at what he's ever done. You know, as I watch these guys grow up, that's why I train so hard and train our guys so hard.
You know, Jeff, you've been in the game so long, you've seen it change so much. How has it changed over the years?
Strength and conditioning evolves all the time. I'm fortunate. It's 28 years for me to be a strength and conditioning coach, and I change and evolve with it as it goes. And as we watch our guys grow, we have to grow along with them.
A lot of the history that's here at the Stark Center, a lot of these folks were sort of shunned, weren't they, when they were lifting?
Well, you know, when you were young, and I grew up in the 60s, and they said if you lifted weights, you'd be slow, you would lose all your speed, you wouldn't be a great athlete. So we really had to work on that. So what happened is we've dispelled all those myths, and every program has a.
Well, it means a lot to see Joe Weider, one, get respected the way he deserves, and kind of see Terry Todd's work and Jan Todd's work all be viewed by people that, you know, that not only their peers but other contemporaries. I mean, it's a great night.
There's a lot about you in this place, isn't there?
Well, I mean, I think I've sweated enough here to have one picture out.
Yeah, well, you deserve it. I think there's some uniform stuff here. I think I saw a jersey of yours that took up about 12 walls.
Well, they needed to redecorate the place, so I figured I'd, you know, give them a little something.
Do you remember the first time you met Joe Weider?
The first time I met him was at the Olympic Festival in '91, and he and Arnold both. And I mean, it's still one of the things that stand out in my mind when I think about my development. I actually went up to Arnold and told him that I wanted to be in one of his movies. And he said, "How much did you lift?" And I said, "Oh, like 750. He said, "That's not enough." I said, when I won the World's Strongest Man in 2002, I said, "Was that enough?" And he was like, "I think that might have been enough." And Joe Weider was standing there. He was like, "I think you better give him whatever he wants."
Joe and Betty, you know I love you. You've been with me from the very time when Betty first came up with the idea of the Mr. Olympia. It's been really a great ride. It has been. It's a great blessing to be able to know you as people and to share the things we've gone through. And I'm grateful for you.
Yes, I would thank Joe and Betty for all they've done for every person that ever touched a weight in their lives. I was a young guy. I used to cut grass and shovel snow just to get enough money to buy a 110-pound Joe Weider weight set. And that motivated me enough to want to become a strength and conditioning coach and do a great job.
Thank you very much for everything that you've done, all the magazines, all the articles, the inspiration that you've given me as an athlete and an entertainer. I can never repay you. Thank you very much.
Joe and Betty, longtime friends, and I'm a great admirer of your dedication to our sport for all of your lifetime. So thank you for making all of this happen. This is a wonderful tribute to both you and to the Iron Game itself.
Joe and Betty, I have known and worked and loved working with you for more than 6 decades. There's no couple in the world who have done more for the sport of physical culture than you have. Your leadership across all the ranges of bodybuilding and fitness in general. And again, the fact that this great museum here at the Stark Center has been added to so much by you and your imagery and your history is a great tribute to you. And I'm glad to be here today to share in that experience.
Well, I'm privileged to have been given the opportunity, you know, to have been associated with Joe, because that's what Joe did. He gave us all an opportunity. We all wanted to be more than what we were. And through his magazine publications, he presented us to the world, and that was a great honor. I mean, I never considered myself anything more than just a student of bodybuilding. I just wanted to see how much I could improve myself, and Joe gave me the vehicle to be able to do that.
You know, it's a Joe and Betty Weider night. Is there anything you'd like to say to them personally?
Oh my gosh, well, thank you for what you've done for all of us. I mean, you've touched all of our lives and given us something to build our, not only our bodies, but our self-esteem, our lives around.
So,
great stuff.
Thanks, Betty and Joe. This has been a great evening, and thank you for including me.
On behalf of the Stark Foundation, we want to say thank you to Joe and Betty Weider for their contributions. They too are makers of this entity, and again, we're very appreciative for their support and their contribution, and we look forward to a long relationship with them.
Stark Foundation and Weider's a name that will live in non-infamy.
Well, I think that one of the things we've always felt is that, you know, really bodybuilding and the whole fitness movement has been about the change in culture. And so if you look at the last 50 years, our entire culture has changed because of Weider and people like Arnold Schwarzenegger and these great bodybuilders. And so we built this place so that we could preserve that story. Now to have all of these superstars here tonight, to have Arnold here, to have Joe Weider in our place, Larry Scott, the first Mr. Olympia, to have Chris Dickerson, Boyer Coe, Bill Pearl, these legendary heroes. I mean, we're just over the moon. I mean, it's just wonderful. It's like history has combined with reality for us. It's just terrific.